China's Type 76 amphibious assault ship.
On December 27, 2024, China's Type 76 amphibious assault ship, the lead ship Sichuan, was successfully launched at Hudong Zhonghua Shipyard in Shanghai. Different from the previous Type 75 amphibious assault ships, the Type 76 is the world's first amphibious assault ship equipped with electromagnetic catapults and arresting gear for recovering carrier-based fixed-wing aircraft. It features epoch-making designs in many aspects. The first feature of the Type 76 amphibious assault ship is its large size. Based on the footage of the launching ceremony shot by CCTV and previous satellite photos, we can roughly estimate that the flight deck of the Type 76 is about 263 meters long and 47 meters wide, which is much larger than that of the U.S. America-class amphibious assault ship, with a flight deck of 257 meters by 36 meters. Even when compared with aircraft carriers of some countries, such as the Charles de Gaulle and the Vikramaditya, the Type 76 is by no means a small ship. At the same time, the official naval authorities, through CCTV, announced on the same day as the launch of the Type 76 that its displacement is more than 40 tons. This has also created the largest flight deck among global amphibious assault ships. A rough estimate shows that the flight deck of the Type 76 reaches more than 12 square meters, which is about 1.5 times that of the America class. This is a very astonishing figure, which leads to the second feature of the Type 76. That is, it is more like a light aircraft carrier than an amphibious assault ship. In fact, the revival of the concept of light aircraft carriers was not promoted by China but by the United States. Its background was initially the from the sea strategy proposed by the U.S. Navy under its absolute superiority after the disintegration of the Soviet Union. By building more low-cost light aircraft carrier platforms, they can be deployed in large numbers in counterinsurgency wars to complete rapid response and provide fire cover for amphibious forces. In low-intensity wars, they can act independently to avoid dispatching more costly full-size aircraft carriers. The result is the America-class amphibious assault ship. As an amphibious assault ship implementing the idea of light aircraft carriers, the America-class has no well deck, and its hull lines can be designed to be slimmer, which can greatly improve the wave resistance characteristics and increase the speed. At the same time, its flight deck is also specially designed, with a heat dissipation device installed at each of the 4 takeoff points, which are arranged at equal intervals and at the rear positions. This device is a hollow aluminum alloy box covered with a heat-insulating coating, with pipes containing corrosion-inhibiting liquid flowing inside. It can absorb heat through evaporation to withstand the high-temperature tail flame of the F-35B when it takes off and lands vertically, so as to enable the amphibious assault ship to operate new fixed-wing vertical takeoff and landing carrier-based aircraft. With the rapid rise of China's military strength, the U.S. military has integrated the concept of light aircraft carriers into the distributed lethality concept, aiming to counter the A2AD system built by China and using light aircraft carriers as platforms that are more acceptable to lose than full-size aircraft carriers. As a unique amphibious assault ship, the Type 76 is equipped with an electromagnetic catapult and a supporting arresting system, which enables it to operate non-vertical takeoff and landing fixed-wing carrier-based aircraft. Moreover, this electromagnetic catapult is the same as that of the Type 3 aircraft carrier, with an electromagnetic catapult track length of 110 meters, and the electromagnetic arresting gear is only 1 less than that of the Type 3. That is to say, in theory, the Type 76 can operate any aircraft that the Type 3 can operate, but the efficiency may decrease sharply as the size of the aircraft increases. At the same time, it is unlikely that the ship has the conditions for long-term maintenance and support of corresponding aircraft, but having it is better than not having it. At least the fixed-wing carrier-based aircraft of the Type 76 can take off at the maximum takeoff weight, instead of being greatly restricted like the F-35B. However, according to the existing information, the Type 76 will usually carry drones, such as the Attack 11, to perform tasks such as ground attack and close air support, providing fire cover for amphibious forces. In order to be highly coupled with the electromagnetic catapult and recovery system, The flight deck of the Type 76 is also designed specifically, showing characteristics highly different from conventional amphibious assault ships. We can still compare it with the America class. The flight deck of this type of amphibious assault ship can be roughly divided into three areas: the left takeoff and landing area A, the parking area Bone in front of the island, and the parking area B2 behind the island. There are two elevators, Cone at the middle and rear of the left side, and C2 at the stern of the right side. The ammunition elevator C3 is located inside the front part of the island, with a semi-enclosed design. The aviation operation logic of such a flight deck design is roughly as follows. Carrier-based aircraft, including helicopters and vertical takeoff and landing fighters, are transported to the flight deck from the C2 elevator, enter the B2 or Bone parking area, and are prepared for takeoff by ground crew, then sent to the takeoff and landing area to take off. Helicopters transported to the flight deck by the Cone elevator are directly transported to the takeoff area for preparation, and then take off. It is not difficult to see that this deck operation logic has great limitations. First, because the flight deck of the amphibious assault ship does not have the stern left parking area brought by the angled deck design of full-size aircraft carriers, the carrier-based aircraft, transported to the deck by the left Cone elevator, except for the first batch in the full deck attack, cannot complete all the preparation work in the follow-up batches because they cannot occupy the takeoff area for a long time, which will delay the overall takeoff progress. And because basic safety checks are essential, the time spent on the ammunition loading process can only be reduced as much as possible. In other words, during the operation, the Cone elevator must be arranged to only transport helicopters and general-purpose helicopters. As for armed helicopters and vertical takeoff and landing fighters, sorry, they are not accommodated. Secondly, the Bone parking area in front of the island cannot be used when any takeoff and landing is carried out because the route connecting the C2 elevator is blocked. At the same time, if the ship is equipped with F-35B and needs to carry ground attack ammunition and refuel more fuel to perform tasks such as close air support, its takeoff weight will exceed the value allowed for vertical takeoff, and it has to occupy more than half of the takeoff area for short-distance skidding. In this case, the left Cone elevator is likely to be unable to be used at all due to the interference of the tail. Obviously, this flight deck design idea is not conducive to the amphibious assault ship to play the role of a light aircraft carrier in specific scenarios, as it will greatly limit the efficiency of aviation operations, but the Type 76 does not have similar problems. We can also divide the flight deck of the Type 76 into 5 areas: the left takeoff area A, the right parking area Bone in front of the island, the right parking area B2 behind the island, elevator Cone, and elevator C2. Different from the traditional US-style amphibious assault ships, the Type 76 arranges the midship elevator between the two islands on the right side and moves the left elevator to the stern. The biggest advantage of this is that when the catapult launches fixed-wing carrier-based aircraft, the two elevators can still continuously transport carrier-based aircraft to the flight deck without any interference. Its only disadvantage is that if the helicopters transported to the deck via the left elevator want to reach the B2 parking area, they will have to cross the takeoff and landing area, affecting the use of the last helicopter takeoff and landing point at the stern. This negative impact cannot be said to be huge, but only negligible. Not only the design of the elevators, but also the advantages of the large flight deck of the Type 76 are fully reflected at this moment. We can see that the catapult of the Type 76 is specially arranged very close to the left side, specifically about 8.5 meters away from the left side. Therefore, even during the takeoff of fixed-wing carrier-based aircraft, the entire right side of the deck can still have a huge space of about 24 meters in width after deducting the takeoff safety zone. The width of the channel formed from the edge of the island to the takeoff safety line is expected to reach more than 10 meters, which can meet the condition that the carrier-based aircraft can be transferred from the Cone elevator to the Bone parking area in the folded state. Coupled with the design of the deflector, the Type 76 can carry out a full-deck attack with fixed-wing carrier-based aircraft all over the deck like a full-size aircraft carrier. It can not only pour precision-guided bombs on the enemy's beachhead in amphibious landings, but also join the main fleet in fleet battles to participate in the competition for sea and air control. It can also perform overseas rights protection tasks more powerfully at a lower cost than aircraft carriers. As for the deck operation during landing, the Type 76 really has no great advantage over the America class. Both have to suspend almost all other deck operations when fixed-wing aircraft land. After all, the safety zone required for landing is much larger than that for takeoff. This is not a problem that a 40-ton amphibious assault ship can solve through optimized design, unless it pays the price of increasing the structural weight by about 50 tons, deteriorating the navigation performance, and reducing the reserve buoyancy to refit the Type 76 amphibious assault ship with an angled deck. But this will probably seriously affect the use of the well deck. The third feature of the Type 76 is its strong amphibious projection capability. Still benefiting from the huge hull, its hangar size is definitely improved compared with the Type 75, which can accommodate more carrier-based helicopters for troop projection. At the same time, its wide flight deck can allow 9 helicopters to take off at the same time in extreme cases. In addition, the Type 76 also retains the well deck and vehicle deck design, which is another difference from the America class, which is lopsided in order to strengthen its aviation capability. Finally, the Type 76 also has extremely advanced shipboard electronic design, including the integrated electric power system. But considering that this part is worthy of a separate discussion, we will not expand on it today. In general, the Type 76 is another example where China has realized the PPT put forward by the United States. It truly practices the concepts proposed by the Americans, such as air-sea battle, distributed lethality, integrated landing, and flexible degraded operations. It is the dream ship of all captains on both sides of the ocean. It only took 4.5 years for the lead ship of such an advanced ship to be launched from the completion of the bid, and its impact or even subversion on the concept of amphibious landing and even naval warfare is expected to last for several decades.